Hi, I'm Andrew Heath, one of the founders of WeThrive. Welcome to this short product demo of WeThrive Perform following the Lucy Adams webinar. So what are the three key things that Perform is designed to help you achieve? Well, one, it's to make sure that the conversations between your managers and their employees are focused on the things that really matter to the organization, the team, and the individual employee. So make sure that everybody turns up to that meeting, whether it's real or virtual, prepped, knowing what we're talking about, why that's important, and on the same page. Proper preparation for a conversation means much more likely to deliver the right sort of outcome. Turning up last minute, not having done any prep, is going to have quite the opposite impact. Second, we know managers and employees, for that matter, are flat out busy. So we want to make sure that the process is super simple, from collecting the pre-review feedback, booking the meeting, turning up to the meeting and logging the next actions, and everything that was agreed needs to be really easy. And from an HR perspective, don't need an extra process, want to make this quick, simple, highly visible, so you can see exactly what's going on, where you can add the maximum value to help the process be effective, not making sure that the process is happening. So WeThrive makes that super easy. And finally, what we really want to achieve is a high performance culture where employees feel valued, they're much more likely to stick around, and they deliver what the business needs to be successful in the marketplace. So those are the three key cornerstones of the WeThrive Perform proposition. And the way that the information flows through, and I'm going to go into demo in a moment, is there are four key components to this. One, collecting the pre-review feedback. Two, booking the event to make sure it actually happens. Three, agreeing what it is we're going to talk about and why it's important. And four, logging everything that's been agreed as a result of that meeting and keeping that in an easy to follow, auditable format so that both the employee, manager, and HR can see exactly what's been going on. So let's get into the demo. So here we are, we're in the review section of WeThrive. I've got four different review processes running here. I've got my 2023 PDR, I've got a quarterly check-in running, and I've got a career development conversation framework running, and some March 2023 check-ins. So the key things here that you really need to know are you can call the process whatever you like. It doesn't have to be called performance reviews. You can call them check-ins, quality conversations, whatever you like. And then within that, you can then create your own different review processes or check-in types. And then within those, you can ask whichever questions you like. So let's have a look first off at the 2023 PDR. So I can click on there and just see who is participating in this. And if I were a line manager, this would just be a view of my people. Or if I'm in HR, it would be a list of everybody. I can see who's completed it. I can send reminders. So I've got full visibility of what's happening. And what I can also do here is click in and see any particular individual and see how they've responded to all of the questions that we've asked. So here we have a set of default questions. Within WeThrive, we have a set of recommended questions that you can pick from a template. From the Lucy Adams webinar, we'll be adding in, give you those questions that you can add in yourself, or you can ask whatever you like. It's entirely up to you, as many questions or as few questions as you like. So from an HR perspective or a manager perspective, I can see what we asked, what the responses were ahead of the one-to-one. So that's really simple. If you're using Word documents or things on the network, instantly this is going to save mountains of time and make it much easier for everybody to be up to speed with what's happening. So just for fullness, let's now have a look at a quarterly check-in, just to show you the difference in the questions. So here we go. Again, I'm going to look at Alan. I can see we've got a much shorter list of questions, checking in on his happiness. Are you going to accomplish your task this quarter? So a different set of questions to the annual review. But again, as his manager, I'm able to click in and see that straight away. So super easy to do, no digging around on the network, and everything is at my fingertips. The other thing that's really interesting and helpful here is that actually, if I look at it from an individual perspective, I can also look at Alan here, and I can then check in and see all of his feedback for all of the interventions, one-to-ones and meetings that I've had over the course of any period of time. So I've got that chronology of, well, what did we talk about last time? What did we agree last time? And therefore, what do I want to talk to Alan about next time? So that takes care of the collection of the data. The next bit is actually, let's make sure that the meeting happens. So as Lucy said in the webinar, this needs to be employee owned as much as anything else. So within WeThrive, an employee can request a check-in whenever they feel the need, and we can see here as a manager, I've got Arnie and Benji on my team who said they'd like to check in with me. So no problem at all. Those have come into me. I can accept or decline. When I accept, that will then create calendar invites via email, which we can both add to our calendars. And if I decline it, an email message goes back and Arnie or Benji can suggest a new time. When we've got it agreed, it goes into the diary. Really super simple. From the other perspective, if I'm a manager and I wish to request a one-to-one, I would create an IntelliAgenda. So I would choose who I wanted to meet. In this instance, Angelica. I'd pick the date and the time, and then I'm going to create a draft agenda. So to make it easy for me as a manager, I've got instant access to all of Angelica's responses to the pre-review feedback questions that we asked. And I can simply click on the ones I'd like to add by clicking on these crosses. I also have access to the most recent team engagement survey results because I might want to discuss Angelica's perspective on this. And as Lucy said on the webinar, really important to make reviews not just about the individual, but also about the team. And thirdly, I have access to any employee goals. I can see here Angelica doesn't have any, so the outcome of this review is going to be to set some goals for her to work on. So really quick and easy to add those to the agenda. I can see all the discussion points. I can add commentary in here to explain why these are on here so that Angelica knows why I want to talk to her about them and why I'd like to chat to her about these different elements of the recent engagement survey results. So where this goes next is that I hit save agenda, and that will go to Angelica. So she gets a sight of what it is that I would like to discuss with her in the review. She can add any other elements of her feedback onto there, and any other comments or notes. And there we have an agreed agenda for our meeting. Really simple. It's taken a few clicks and everybody's set up, ready to go. So the next stage, we turn up and we actually do the meeting. This is where we would add any new goals that we agreed. So again, I can add a goal, give it a name, a description, a due date, add all of the tasks into that. And the beauty of this is we've got cause and effect. We can see what we discussed and what we agreed to do next. We can also add in any commentary, shared commentary about what we discussed and any views or things that we want to capture. And then finally, as the manager, I also then have access to this area, which is hidden from the employee, where I can write my own notes about the review. I can add goals and actions for me to carry out as a manager, for example, booking Angelica onto a course, etc. And then finally down here, I have the talent snapshot, which is optional. And this just collects some useful data which HR can use to help them plan things like recruitment, salary reviews, etc. So once I've completed the review, all the goals and actions are logged, Angelica's added her bits, we close that review down and lock it as read only. And that basically means we then have an audit trail of exactly what was discussed. So if I go now to have a look at one of those that I have completed already, here it is, it's locked, I can't edit anything. So this is a review with Alan on the 1st of April. I can see what was discussed, the commentary that we added, the engagement survey results we discussed, the goals that we discussed and created, my manager notes, I had a great review and a great plan going forward, a manager goal, I need to book Alan onto the time management course, and I also completed the talent snapshot. So what's fantastic here is that by doing that, Alan gets a copy of the summary of the meeting minus the manager only bits as a PDF. I also get that as the manager for Alan, and then everything's logged in WeThrive. So there's no more, what did we talk about last time? I can't remember, or having to find things on the network. It's all logged and centralized. So you've been able to get the feedback, schedule and sit the meeting, agree the goals and actions, log it all centrally. HR's got full visibility of that. The manager has access to all the goals and actions and feedback, and Alan also has that available to him as well within the platform, saving mountains of time and most importantly, making that conversation as effective as possible.